Hey everyone, so I'm super excited about this one. Population 1, one of the best Battle Royale games, recently got an update called Season 1 Uprising. It's actually a 10-week long season that has introduced new elements into the game, like the new maps, new skins, new weapons, new items. I'm actually excited about the updates, so there's a lot to go over. Let's get into the details. So for those who have not played Population 1 yet, it's actually a pretty addictive battle royale game developed by a company called Big Box, where you and your squad must fight with others until one squad is left standing. It was released sometime last year in the month of October of 2020, and so far it's received some very positive reviews. Now since then, there's been some recent updates to the game. So the narrative behind Uprising are the rebels called Seekers to fight this mega corporations that controls the world of Population 1, which actually reminds me of the story of Ready Player One, where the evil corporations tries to take control of the Oasis. Now as far as Season 1 progresses in Population 1, the environments will change as the rebels try to gain control, and we finally get access to this big giant tower right in the middle of the map because we still currently don't have access to it. So let's get into the specific details of the updates that Big Box has posted. Number 1, let's start with the new items. So players are now equipped with knives. So right after you launch from the platform, or when you leave the pod, or after you've been revived, you will actually have access to a knife. It can deal up to 35 damage based on your swing strength and distance. Now, just so you know, it will directly hurt the player's health. So after 3 swings, you can actually eliminate a player even if the player has 100% shields, because it will skip the shields completely and directly attack your health. So if you're new to Pop 1, just know the player has health and shield. Also, having a knife in hand, it makes you 10% faster. So it's actually great if you're chasing after a player or even running away from a squad. Next up is the Katana sword. This one actually deals 75 damage, and again, it's based on how hard you swing and by distance. Like the knife, it directly attacks the person's health rather than the shields. So it takes 2 swings to take someone out, and again, it speeds up the player movement by 10% if you're holding it in one hand. But if you hold it by 2 hands, it will slow you down by 10%. However, it will create a shield that blocks all bullets, but it doesn't block damages like grenades or other melee items. Also, when you create a shield, just know you can actually hear a sound coming from the shield. So if there's any enemies around you or you're trying to sneak up on them, they can actually hear it. So activate it only when you have to. Now the shield covers half your body when you're standing, so someone can still shoot your legs or feet to do some damage. But if you crouch down, it provides better protection for your upper body and legs, at least from the front of your body. So you still gotta be careful because the bullets can just come from any angle. Alright, the next one is the M60. This is a beast of a weapon. It's designed for suppression fire. The fire rate starts at 50% and the rate increases as it's fired longer. Now your player movement will be slowed down to a max speed of 80% when you're actually holding it. The base magazine capacity is at 75, 22 damage per bullet, and is capable of destroying walls that people have built with only 2 bullets. Now loading a weapon is usually a 2-step process, but this one actually takes 4 steps to load it, so you may need some practice time on this one. Okay, next is the zone grenade. This grenade can actually stick to things like floors, walls, or ceilings. So when it explodes, it starts at a 15-meter radius and it will shrink all the way down to 0 in 10 seconds. It's actually designed to force players out from cover, especially for the players that tend to peek in and out from cover. It does 5 damage per tick while your enemies are inside the radius of the red zone. And by the way, if you throw the zone grenade, it cannot hurt your squad mates, however it can do self-damage. So for your squad mates, they will see a blue zone, but you're gonna see red. And lastly, the new item is the shield drinks. This is actually a blue can that simply restores the shields to 25 over 15 seconds. Number 2, now as far as inventory management, you can now actually fit up to 5 shield drinks and health sodas per slot, which is a welcome update. Before the update, the player can only fit 1 item per slot, so now you can actually stack your health items. Frag grenades and bananas can fit to 2 per slot, and as a side note, frag grenades is not to be confused with zone grenades. Also, accessory items like the grenade and other healing items picked up by your offhand goes directly to your inventory and not auto-equip it in your dominant hand, and that's definitely a great update. And finally, the lower tier weapons of the same type will automatically be swapped with a higher tier gun. So for example, if you have a 2-star weapon, you won't have to drop that weapon to exchange it for a 4-star weapon. It will do it for you when you pick up the higher tier weapon. Next, number 3, there's been updates to the environment itself. We now have a location called the Summit, and it's located at the edge of the foothills, and supposedly these structures are built by the Bureau. Now another update is the surrounding areas of the tower. You'll see these structures here with supplies to help fortify the location. And near the border of the plains, they have these blockades and these armored vans. I assume the Bureau is trying to prepare for the rebels before the attack on the tower. Also, since we're here, notice the tower doors are not open, but in the future updates, supposedly it will open and finally revealing what's actually inside. Number 4, now speaking of environments, there's some lighting changes with better global illumination in the environment, which adds a more realistic lighting to the scene along with this pinkish sunset sky. Plus they added global probes in the environment which will provide better lighting for the skin. Next, number 5, there's a few new features. First, let's start with the sprays. The sprays are located in the loadout screen. You have 3 spray options, so you can choose and select which ones you want in the game or in the waiting lobby area. Now once you're in there, it's located in the same menu where you ping a location on the map. So in order to use it, you just have to select one of them and then place it in the world by pressing the trigger button on your controllers. Next up is the calling cards. These calling cards will be located in the main menu under the loadout. So these cards show a pre-selected image that will include the player's stats. Now these selected cards will be displayed to the eliminated player. So you'll see the card of your opponent that eliminated you from the match only when the whole team has actually been wiped out. And lastly, the new feature is titles. This is also in the main menu under loadout. It will display under the player's name tag, and it's also displayed under the calling card that we just talked about. Next, number 6, this is actually a season 1 limited content called Battle Pass located in the main menu. They're actually introducing an optional paid Battle Pass which costs around $5 US, which is 330 Bureau coins, which is the shop currency of Pop 1 that provides the player exclusive cosmetic upgrades such as new characters or calling cards or legendary skins. Or you could buy a Battle Pass Plus, which is 1,000 Bureau coins that gives you a head start of 15 tiers, because there's actually a total of 50 tiers under the Battle Pass. So for example, if I bought the regular Battle Pass, it will charge me $5 US to my credit card. So now I have access to a new character, Iris, and a new calling card. Now when you go back to the calling card section, you'll see a new card added, and also under characters, you'll see Iris. Now currently I'm on tier 4, so you can earn your way up. Number 7, social content. We now have a thing called Seeker Credits. It's the new social currency that doesn't involve any real money. You can only spend them in a specific shop to get items like calling cards, new titles, sprays, things like that. Now in order to get these Seeker Credits, it's through your friends list on Pop 1. So your friends, or you can actually send one by pressing the silver coin with the arrow. Now in order to accept the coin, just press the silver coin icon without the arrow and it will count under the Seeker Credits. Just so you know, you can only send 1 credit per friend per day, and you can only collect up to 25 Seeker Credits per day. Number 8, changes to the items as far as the healing and shields. So now with the health soda, it has been lowered from 50 to 25. In addition to that, it now heals a bit slower. It heals 1 per second instead of 2 per second. Now as far as the large shield battery, healing has actually increased from 20 to 50 shields, which is good news, but you can no longer find it in the world, so instead it's only spawned from eliminated players by your squad or loot that has been dropped from the planes. And lastly, number 9, changes to the current weapons. So for this part, I made a quick chart of all the changes. So here's the chart for the pistols along with the changes. And here's the SMGs. And then here's the snipers. And lastly, the ARs. So that's the last update. If I missed anything, comment below. Let us know if you notice any more changes while you're playing. So personally, I love this game. I'll see you in Population 1. Talk to y'all later.